The snail who didn't want his shell. Ready, steady, go! Senthil the snail has never won a race with his friends. This shell is too heavy, he grumbled. That's why I am so slow. Ants don't carry shells, nor do worms, beetles, bees, or butterflies. No wonder everybody says, as slow as a snail, sighed Senthil. I want to go fast. Just then, a wiggly worm peeped out of his hole. What are you doing? I don't need my shell anymore. Your shell is your home, the worm explained. You're lucky. You can crawl around in the open with your home. My home is just a dark and wet hole. And should Senthil remove his shell? The next day, Senthil was with his friends for a race. Senthil shivered as the breeze blew on his shellless back. Then he smiled. Look at me! It's the first time I've been a barebacked snail. And of course, he won the race, and the next, and the next. Although his brother felt envious, he looked nervously at the sky and decided to keep his shell on his back. Senthil was having so much fun that he didn't notice the nearby danger. Two hungry birds, perched on a branch, were eyeing the group of friends on the ground. The birds took aim and then swooped down. At first, none of the friends noticed the approaching birds. And then they saw the bird's shadow on the ground. The millipede curled into a tight ball. The caterpillar slipped behind a curly leaf. The worm dropped into a dark hole. Senthil's brother hid inside his hard shell. Senthil wanted to withdraw into his hard shell too, but he had none. He tried to dash for cover, but he was no fast enough. Help! Cried Senthil. Ouch! The birds were too busy fighting for Senthil and accidentally dropped him. Out fell Senthil, who tumbled across the ground. He was shaken, but still alive. The birds were shaken too. They darted in for a second try. Fortunately, Senthil had ended up close to a rock. The rock had a tiny gap in it. Grumbly, the birds gave up and flew off. When Senthil finally peeked out of his hiding place, he was happy to see his friends arrive. He was even happier to see that they had brought along his shell. From that day on, Senthil carried his shell wherever he went, and he was no longer wanted to be bare-backed snail anymore. Well, I'm the cool guy, everybody, look at me. And he still came first in all the races. Yeah, I'm the coolest one. That's why I win all the race. Especially, I will really win every single skating board race. Ha ha ha.